So, John, I've got 2 questions for you today. Firstly, have you been a good boy or a bad boy this year?
I thought we both know I've been a bad boy.
Oh, that sounded so creepy. Secondly, what have you written to Santa this year?
What have I written to Santa this year?
Yeah.
Hate mail mostly. And
Hate mail.
Hate mail and... hate mail and, yeah, erotic letters.
Oh, for the first one.
Some films are fine just the way they are. Other films sometimes take it way too far. Really, how could it get? Let's go beyond the box set.
Welcome, everybody, to Beyond the Box Set, the podcast where we pitch prequels, sequels, and spin-offs to films that don't have any. I'm Harry, and joining me, as always, is John.
Hello.
Hello. Third Christmas episode? Second Christmas episode?
This is our second Christmas episode.
Accounting's not the best.
No, assuming we counting's not the best. Not so great with the words either. Oh, bless you. Yes, assuming we release these in order, it'll be our second. We did It's a Wonderful Life last week, and now we're doing Krampus.
Krampus. All right. Well, it was your choice. What is this?
It was. What is this? Why is this? Well, I chose this film because I hadn't seen it, but it seemed like the kind of thing I would like. I remember when it was released in cinemas. I just never got around to watching it, unfortunately, but I really wanted to see it because I love the idea of Krampus because I have kind of a dark sense of humour. So the idea of an evil troll goblin creature that eats children who are naughty, I'm in. I'm sold immediately. So the idea of a black comedy about a murderous Christmas goblin.
Would you describe this as a comedy?
See, this is the thing. I don't know how you felt about this film. I was a little disappointed by this film. I wasn't sure what this film was trying to be.
Yeah, I was a little confused by it all. It wasn't really disappointing. There was one point that was disappointing for me, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't describe this as a comedy, but I was going through this whole thing thinking, who is this for?
Yeah.
Because it's way too scary for children. Like, it scared me.
Yeah.
But also, it doesn't really feel grown up enough for grown-ups.
Yeah, this is the problem I had. I felt like this film kind of went halfway there.
Yeah. I feel like it could have been more at the level of Labyrinth, for example, where it's like a little bit freaky and just like, this isn't quite okay, but it's still appropriate for kids.
Yeah.
Where it's, yeah, it was a bit further than that.
I feel the opposite. I think it should have gone further. It should have been darker and blacker and scarier. I feel like it should have been like a Roald Dahl kind of thing. It needed that kind of vibe. I think if it's going to be a kids' film, or you could just go all out and make it a horror film, in which case, sold. Either way works for me. I think the main problem I had was that if you're going to build a movie around a goblin that presumably kills children, like kills, eats, kidnaps, whatever, you have to not like those children. It has to be like the brattiest, so you're really rooting for the bad guy in this kind of film.
Yeah, I find it really sort of shocking in a way. Just like the first one to die was the girl. And I didn't really see that she was going to die, and then suddenly like, oh, she's got to be dead then. Oh, right, okay, it's this kind of film. And then it seemed like the whole film was going to be about getting her back. And I was like, this isn't going to really end well. It's going to be quite disappointing and sad for everyone involved and not really so fun to watch. And then they just sort of went somewhere else with it. And also, that boy made the list of wishes at the start, which I thought was going to be what actually happened to everybody in some horrific way. Like, oh yeah, me and my sister were not as close as we used to be. I imagine them like getting crushed or something together. So now they're as close as they ever can be. And
see, that'd be really good. That'd be a good film.
That'd be a right good horror movie.
Yeah.
Although the bit where he's like, oh, I think my cousins, I think that their dad wanted them to be boys. I was like, ooh, this is not okay. I'm not looking forward to that scene.
That might have been a little bit, bit retrograde. But yeah, I think because it was setting up this whole thing where the main family seem like relatively nice and wholesome in the grand scheme of things. And then they've got the family from hell, like, the sister and the brother-in-law.
Which I loved.
Yeah, I like that as an idea.
They were so annoying.
But they weren't, I felt like they weren't that bad though. Like, they were annoying, but they weren't terrible people.
I think they were before anything started going wrong and happening. Like at that point when they came in, like with the dog, oh, you don't have a cat, do you? Just swearing all the way, and Auntie, what was her name?
Oh, Auntie Florence or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, she was my favourite character. She was, give me a hard-drinking, gun-toting, foul-mouthed old lady, and I am on board. That is a character that always works for me.
Now, she was my favourite character too, but that's kind of sort of just by default almost, because I was really rooting for Toni Collette to be my favourite character in the standout role of this film, because she's great. but she just wasn't. There was one really, really disappointing bit where they'd built it up for ages, where she picks up this axe and then she just looks ready to just like murder a lot of monsters with an axe. There's a lot of scenes where she's looking so intense, as only she can do, while holding this massive axe, and it's like, oh god, it's coming. There's going to be a mental scene. It's going to be great. And I'll go up to an attic, and I'm like, oh god, it's coming. And you see bits of monsters around. There's like, oh, any second now. And then she gets taken out straight away. And then her sister is the one who goes on an axe rampage, who's been a nothing character for everything building up to that scene.
Yeah.
And it felt really disappointing. I don't know why they made that choice for it not to be her just killing all these monsters with an axe.
Yeah, it really felt like a waste of Toni Collette.
Yeah.
And a waste of Adam Scott, and a waste of all of the more well-known actors in this, because, yeah, none of them really did much. It felt like a film that had a lot of studio notes saying you need to make this lighter and more family-friendly. And I think maybe the director wanted to make a darker film. I think that might be what went wrong a little bit for me. I mean, it sounds like you enjoyed it more than me, unusually. I thought this was going to be a slam dunk for me. I was really a bit like, yeah.
Oh, no, I definitely did, but... yeah, you're right, it didn't quite have that commitment to one thing.
Because, like, it opens, and we've got this great opening scene where it's got some Bing Crosby classic Christmas song, and you've got the montage of them in the mall.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great. It's the consumerism and the ugliness of, like, modern Christmas. It's great. Okay, cool. This is going to be that kind of film. It's going to be, it's about awful people and getting their comeuppance on board. And then we get to the family home, and as I say, it's Toni Collette and Adam Scott are a married husband and wife, and they're quite tightly wound, and she's popping pills and everything, and the son's acting out a little bit, but not loads.
No, just a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
But I could sort of see how they were going for him as not sort of the main character, but the one that we're sympathising with the most.
Yeah, he's like our moral centre. He's like, we're seeing it through his eyes, definitely. Yeah, because he gets into a fight because somebody disrespects Christmas or something. So that happens, and then the family from across the side of the tracks come, and they're kind of like, supposed to be like gun-toting, I guess, right-wing Republican kind of, nightmare people. There's like that one scene at the dinner table when they're like antagonising each other, and then Toni Collette gets all stressed out. Then the daughter goes off to meet her boyfriend, and then it kicks off. And then the film kind of starts properly, and she goes missing, as you say. And then it's just everyone's on the same side, and they should have been more disgusting and more foul, so when the kids start getting picked off one by one, it's funny. This film never allowed me to enjoy kids being murdered. Yeah. That's what I felt like. Maybe they needed to be older, or
for just the whole thing to be a little bit less real.
Yeah, I think that's it too, yeah.
If there were just one or two sort of very camp action scenes, it would have been great. Like, if Toni Collette just got a line or something like, die, you bitch, or just something like that, then that would really bring it back.
Totally. I feel like there's like a 10-minute portion of this movie that really was the movie I wanted it to be, that really delivers.
I think that Toni Collette was great casting for what could have been a great character. I think Adam Scott was bad casting.
Really?
He was great in it, and he's great in most things. But I don't think that he was the one who could have held this film, could have brought it back together.
Who would you have cast instead then?
I'm not sure, but just somebody with just a little bit more comedy to them. Like, his thing is just sort of being the normal person while crazy things are happening.
Yeah, he's the straight man, isn't he? He's the one who, like, in Parks and Rec, he looks at the camera and is like, can you believe these guys? Yeah.
Whereas I think they should have gone for somebody who was the opposite. Somebody who was bringing a bit more rather than bringing it back to normal.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe he was supposed to contrast with the uncle, who was all about, into his guns and his monster trucks and that kind of stuff.
Which they did really well.
They did, but they could have contrasted them more, because I said that character started off being really obnoxious, but then they kind of team up and make friends, and it's like, about like half an hour into the movie, that they've already resolved their differences essentially, gone, you know what, you're cool. I'm like, well, you've taken away the whole tension of the film now. Like, that should have been, their opposing worldviews should have informed the whole movie. But instead it was just, oh, I guess, okay, I don't like you very much, but we've got more issues going on than our petty disputes right now, so let's just team up and be pals. And then it was just, it just sucked out a lot of the, what could have been really good comic energy, and would have been a good use of Adam Scott, of him being this very normal, this kind of liberal kind of, intelligent person stuck in this scenario with family members he doesn't particularly like, he's not even related to. I think that's supposed to be Toni Collette's sister, isn't it? Yeah, but I did enjoy that sequence when they go up to the attic, even though Toni Collette didn't get to do as much as we like to see her do. When they're up in the attic and the uncle's getting attacked by CGI gingerbread men with a nail gun, like, great. That's exactly what I wanted from this film.
Yeah.
There's all those crazy monsters. One of the teenage girls literally gets devoured by that clown thing. You see her foot go down and there's blood. It's like, yes, it became the film I wanted it to be, because it was dark and it was twisted and it was funny and it was ridiculous and it was inventive visually. So there's about 10 minutes of that happening, of them fighting, and then That's when the auntie gets the shotgun out and she goes, "See you in hell," and it's. But then it stopped again.
Yeah, Dorothy, finish it.
With pleasure.
Basically, to summarise the plot, because I don't know how many of our listeners will have seen this film, they've got a visiting family all staying at Toni Collette and Adam Scott's house. There's their son and daughter, and then there's the uncle and the auntie have twin girls who are dressed... I don't want to say dressed as boys, that's stereotypical.
I'd say dressed as boys, I think that's what
Okay,
the film
that was the
essentially
joke it was making, yeah. I don't want to make gender stereotypes, but yeah, they actually say at one point, our dad wanted boys, not girls, or something. And so that's their characterization. And they've got the son who's just... doesn't really say anything, just eats all the time, and that's his joke. Well, again, they didn't really go anywhere with that though. They didn't. They didn't build up to it at all. Like he just kind of sits there like this silent little lump. He should have been like Augustus Gloop.
Yeah,
he should have been constantly eating.
I'm
and
really
like,
thinking Augustus Gloop with that guy.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for, but it just didn't really happen. So they've got those three, and then they've got a baby, which I think was a huge mistake.
What, having a baby?
Well, having a baby is always a mistake, but having a baby in this
You heard
film,
it here.
having a baby in this
wonder
film,
why you're not Godfather.
yeah.
I'm just imagining the card you gave to some friends of ours when they had their first baby. Was it just sort of, whoops?
Yeah, it was congratulations, you made a huge mistake. End of the road. But yeah, like, I think it was a mistake having a baby in this movie because that was hard. It reminded me of The Walking Dead with the baby, Rick's baby. Who even knows? Baby Judith, who they introduced...
I don't even watch that anymore.
No, me neither, I'm over it. But they introduced baby Judith, and then now they're just stuck with her. She's not been a plot point for about 4 or 5 seasons.
Is she still a baby?
But that's the thing, The Walking Dead has this uber slow, like... I think Maggie's been pregnant for like 4 seasons, so I think she's still like a toddler. I don't know. But yeah, the point is, you can't make the imminent death of a baby funny.
No.
I think that's really hard, and... Yeah, so having the baby just added a level of anxiety for me that was not welcome in this kind of film.
No, and they proved they couldn't do anything by killing a baby by just having a baby get stolen.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was it.
Yeah, the baby didn't serve any purpose. They could have lifted that baby out and it would have made no difference. All it did was make it hard to enjoy the scenes of the family being terrorised. It's like, oh, but it's a baby. Like, I think anything can be funny. I can imagine someone could make a film where a baby gets eaten or something, and it could be played and made funny, but this didn't do it. I don't know. I'm not saying I could make that film. I'm saying, like, you know...
I'm really interested to see what that film would be. I don't necessarily want to see that film, but I want to see the achievement.
So they've got that whole family there, and they're having all these fights, and the little boy who really believes in Christmas still believes in Santa Claus. He gets really upset because the family are arguing, and so he writes this letter. He destroys the letter to Santa, doesn't he? Because he decides that he doesn't believe in Santa Claus anymore.
Yeah, he rips it up, and in a very Mary Poppins way, gets ripped up, it just floats up into the sky.
Yeah.
Very obvious for the audience to see that it's something's happening and somebody's going to come.
Yeah, big time foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And this summons, basically there's a huge snowstorm, the rest of the neighbourhood disappears.
Yeah, actually, seems to be. The rest of the neighbourhood disappears. Some houses look like they've been broken into.
But there's no other characters. Like, they go looking for the daughter, and her boyfriend is nowhere to be seen. Like, the house has been destroyed. But,
yeah, we see her get murdered under a car.
Yeah.
And then, one by one, they all get picked off by different monsters, all within the house from now.
Yeah, pretty much. So the daughter goes off to meet her boyfriend in the snowstorm, gets attacked by the Krampus, and we presume killed. And then, the rest of the film is them initially looking for her, and then eventually the house gets invaded by just all kinds of... Well, the CGI gingerbread man, which I loved. Really funny. Did you know, I was just looking at IMDb before we started this, they actually had character names.
God, what are they called? Like Itchy, Scratchy and Poochie or something?
Really close. It's a Clumpy, Dumpy and Lumpy.
Great.
Voiced by Seth Green.
Oh, no.
And Justin Roiland, who does the voices of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I would never have been able to guess that they were voiced by celebrities. Like, all they did was like make shrieking noises. Like.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
But yeah, so then the rest of the film is them kind of fighting back against those things and the Krampus, which doesn't, for a film called Krampus,
doesn't have much of Krampus
there's
in it.
very little of the actual Krampus in it. He's in like 2 scenes.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted more of the Krampus, because that was my reason for wanting to see this film, because I love the idea, because it's an old Austrian folktale. which I don't know much about. All I know is the pictures. Like, there are so many hilarious illustrations from like the 18th century and the 17th century of this disgusting, long-tongued, horned, cloven-footed devil beast literally just picking children up and putting them into his sack, and they're screaming and he's eating them. And it's so dark and so kind of classically, you know, Germanic European, like in that kind of grim fairy tale kind of way, which really appeals to me. But yeah, he was barely in it. It was a little bit. I mean, I enjoyed the gingerbread man. I enjoyed all of those crazy creatures that they had, but yeah, it was a strange lack of Krampus.
Before we go into drinking games, can we talk about this old lady?
The grandma, you mean?
Yeah.
Not the gun-toting aunt, the old German speaking grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she speaks German almost exclusively, even though her grandson speaks just plain English or American English. And they both just can have perfect conversations. Like, there was even a point where she said something, and then, obviously I saw the subtitles, and then the boy said, "Oh, wait, do you actually mean more like this?" But not in a way of, like, I misunderstood the language, just like, you didn't say that right. In a way that, like, they both clearly know what each other is saying very, very well, and they can both clearly speak each other's languages, so why still speaking two languages? And then it just finally gets to that one scene of she speaks English, and then somebody goes, "Oh, I knew it. I knew she spoke English." Just like, yes, of course. Yeah. We all know she spoke English.
Yeah, but I was kind of on his side. I was like, well, why weren't you speaking English in the first place? Or, you know, if she was speaking German to teach her grandson German, then surely he would be speaking German back.
Yeah.
Also, it's that classic thing when you've got a fully Austrian grandma and her children and grandchildren could not be more all American. There's no, like, that accent hasn't trickled down.
No,
like, they're all just, like, so American. But she just refuses to speak in English. And yeah, they didn't make enough of a joke of it. Like, that could have been a funny bit where it's like, speak English, grandma. But it wasn't. It was just like she just happened to choose to answer everything in German, and people would answer her back in English as if she was speaking English, and it was never really acknowledged. Right?
What did you think of the story she told?
Oh, that was good. Well, I liked how it suddenly became Coraline.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, it's very sort of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, that was probably the only part of the film that legitimately scared me.
It was either that, or it felt a little bit sort of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, which I know you're not the biggest fan of, but they have a big sort of cartoon bit in the middle.
Do they? I have seen it, but not for years. Is it stop motion or is it cartoon?
It's a cartoon. It's not stop motion, but it's very stylized. It was quite similar to this.
Okay.
Where, like, everybody's just silhouettes and stuff. I mean, it's really good. One of the best bits of that film.
No, I think that was the best bit of this film.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought it was creative. It was creepy. It was what I wanted this film to be in many ways.
How much better would this film have been if it was all stop motion?
Yeah, I think lots, because I think you could probably accept a lot more from stop motion. Like, again, I think having the human kids, because they were a little bit too young for me to be like, oh, I hope you die, especially the baby. Yeah, I think having stop motion, you could have got away with more, I think, and that would have been really interesting. Yeah, something like Tim Burton should have directed this, I think.
Yeah,
would have been great.
I knew St. Nicholas was not coming this year. Instead, it was a much darker, more ancient spirit. The shadow of St. Nicholas. It was Krampus.
I also feel like this film suffered a little bit from the horror movie trope, where nobody in this movie has ever watched a horror movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, let's all go off by ourselves and do our own adventures.
There was a lot of splitting up into groups in a very small, compact space where it was not necessary.
Yeah.
Jordan? Davey! Where are they? Where'd they go?
They were just here. I think they went to the bathroom.
And you just let them go?
Was there another option?
Drinking games?
Sure, yeah. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So, first one I've got. Drink whenever there's something inappropriate said in front of children.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the auntie topping up their eggnog with booze.
Exactly
That was great. Like,
yes.
Yeah. You know what I think they should have done? I think they should have combined the grandma and the auntie into one character.
Interesting. I disagree. I think I'd have liked to see just those two get screen time.
Okay, yeah.
Just those two have a scene together.
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah, they don't really have any conversations, do they?
No, they don't. Other than, I knew she spoke English.
Yeah.
That's it.
True. Yeah, actually, that would have been better, because, yeah, they're too different, because the grandma's all about the ancient Austrian law, and the auntie is very much just, American.
Well, I feel like the families for there quite a lot sort of mirror each other.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I guess to an extent, they all kind of
both in very American ways.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Can't we make him go away?
Kinder,
Es kann niemand. Es ist...
What's she saying? I'm not sure.
She says we're fucked.
Drink when somebody barely reacts to the apparent death of an immediate relative.
Slash child.
Slash child, yeah.
Yeah.
That was the other thing, because this film was kind of played a little bit too straight. It was like whenever a child did disappear or get killed, it felt like they weren't reacting enough. The daughter who gets eaten, and you literally see her foot go down, and they go, "You've got to be kidding me!" It's like, you've literally just watched the death of your daughter. You'll be catatonic. And then the same woman, when her baby gets stolen, she's like, "Where's the baby? Where's the baby? Oh my god, the baby!" No, as some goblin grabs the baby and runs off, and she kind of forgets about it within minutes. It's like, it's really weird. It made it really tonally awkward.
Well, at least my next drinking game, which drink whenever the baby gets ignored.
Yeah, exactly.
So many times that baby was just crying, just sitting on the floor by itself, rolling around by the fire, by the unguarded fire.
Oh god, yeah, that stressed me out.
And yeah, nothing. Nobody ever seemed to care for that baby until the baby was gone.
Yeah. That's another thing. It's having a parent-child relationship in these kind of films is difficult. You have to make them really grotesque. I keep going back to Willy Wonka because that is the best example I can think of having children who meet terrible fates. Like Augustus Gloop gets stuck in the chocolate thing, and Veruca Salt gets thrown into the incinerator.
Would you watch a horror movie remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Well, I'd argue it kind of is a horror movie in a way, but yeah.
Like one that's actually played for fear.
For pure terror. It could very easily be done, yeah. And I'd think it might work, yeah.
To be fair, a lot of Roald Dahl stuff could.
Yeah, exactly. Look at The Witches. This one reminded me a lot of The Witches as well because of the grandma.
Yeah.
There was definite...
She was the same character.
It was basically the same character, but not as kick-ass. But yeah, so you need to make them that grotesque so you don't feel any sympathy for them. And because this film didn't do that, it was awkward watching the children die in front of their parents and having the parents reacting but not reacting quite strongly enough.
Howard, where's Chrissy? Where's the baby? Honey, where's your sister?
Twisted fairy tale horse shit!
Drunk whenever Adam Scott does the patented Adam Scott, this is ridiculous face.
He does get a few good ones. And again, there's a few bits in that I where I actually enjoyed him. If you're going to cast Adam Scott, you want him to be Adam Scott. So
There's the bit by the Hummer where he says to the uncle, "Wait, you brought guns to Christmas?"
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a pro-gun person. But again, that sets up this kind of dispute between that family, he's very pro-gun, and I'm guessing Adam Scott and his family are not pro-gun. So it sets up this immediate tension. And yet the guns kind of save the day. Well, they don't save the day, but the guns are the only useful thing anyone has to bring to the table.
Yes, but this is hardly sort of pro-guns.
Oh, no.
Really.
No, I'm not saying this is a pro-gun movie.
If you get invaded by evil Santa and his army of toy monsters, then yeah, guns are great.
Yeah, absolutely.
To be fair, they all lost anyway.
They did. It didn't help them in the end.
This film did not have a happy ending.
No, it did not.
We gotta find Pat.
You packed guns on Christmas.
Always be prepared, Boy Scout.
It's kind of heavy.
Yeah. It's Linda's.
What did you make of the ending?
It was a bit, I don't know, just sort of didn't really close properly, I felt.
It felt like it just kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because again, and this is the thing with the weird choice to make the characters too sympathetic in some ways, because the last two characters alive are the little boy, who's our hero, I guess, fine, and also one of the twin girls, who feels like such a nothing character.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's like, oh no, not you too, Shelley. But it's like he's already lost his mum, his dad, his actual sister, a baby, and other cousins as well. Like it was like, oh, she's still around. Okay, it felt very random.
Should have made her his twin sister.
Yeah.
And then it's just one cousin.
Yeah, it should have been like the sister lasted till the end and one of the cousins went to meet a guy. Because, yeah, it felt like the sister was one of the few sympathetic characters. She seemed nice enough.
Yeah.
And getting rid of her early on it kind of didn't make much sense. Because I didn't sense that there were no scenes in which he bonded with that one cousin over the other one. It was just that, I guess we killed everyone else off, but this one's still around, so I guess she's the last person he sees. And yeah, they escape from the house. A lot of them get taken out in the house. And then it's Adam Scott and Toni Collette get dragged under the snow very quickly, as does the auntie. The other characters have already gone at that point, I think. So then the two of them are in the car, and then the cousin gets snatched, and they're standing over like the mouth of hell,
Something like that.
And then they throw the cousin into the hell pit, and then he apologises. He says, "I'm sorry I ruined Christmas. I just wanted everyone to be happy."
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets thrown into hell as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then he wakes up and it's all a bad dream. And he goes downstairs and it's all a bit weird and slightly soft focusy, and everyone's a little bit too happy. And then they see the bauble with Krampus written on it, and then they all look. It's like they're remembering suddenly.
Yeah, it all clicks.
Yeah, and then it pans out and they're trapped in a snow globe.
Yeah. It felt very quickly written.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh god, how do we finish this? Okay.
Yeah, I agree, because I like the idea of that, them being trapped in a snow globe. That's kind of quite dark and creepy, but yeah, it didn't really earn it, I don't think.
Yeah.
Were we supposed to take from that as well that they'd been in that snow globe the whole time?
No.
Because the only reason I was thinking about that was that the whole point was that they couldn't get out of the snowstorm and they couldn't find anyone else. Like, it was just them. So it felt like the whole film did take place in a bit of a bubble. So that was why I thought maybe.
I see what you mean there, but no, I don't think that was the case.
Okay. You think that they were cast into hell and then they were just trapped in the snow globe forever, and that was like, okay.
I'm sorry. I just wanted Christmas to be like it used to be.
Should we get some sequels?
Yeah, sure. You first, me first?
I think it's you first.
All right. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give you the title just yet.
Okay.
Okay, so it picks up immediately after the first film.
Oh, so it's a direct sequel?
Direct sequel.
Same cast?
Same cast.
Okay.
Which just rules out a lot of work I've got to do.
Okay, sure.
The whole family, they've realised from the snow globe. That's what that realising they had. They remembered all this, and they look out and they see that the landscape doesn't quite look as it is. They go and explore the garden, and they're in this big glass dome. Similar to the Simpsons movie sort of thing.
I'm thinking that, so they do actually get to the end of the glass and they realise, oh, we're trapped.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they can feel the glass. It's not just like there's a snowstorm.
Okay, like it, cool.
Luckily, though, the Hummer is still parked in the driveway. So, first thing the adults do is they just get the guns from the Hummer.
They get the guns from the Hummer?
Yeah, so they've got some weapons.
Cool.
Which is lucky that that's there somehow. Mm-hmm. While the adults are all doing this, the kids start thinking about getting out as well. And luckily, the boy, what was his name? Do you remember?
Oh, I can't remember. None of these characters had memorable names. Let me look it up. Max. They're always called Max.
Max.
They're always called Max in
name.
these films, yeah.
All right. So, yeah, Max, it turns out, actually has a bit of an obsession with snow globes. He has a collection.
Okay.
So he knows all about them.
How much is there to know?
Well, all there is to know is that every snow globe has a hatch so that they can actually put the water in.
Oh, okay.
Meaning, well, there must be a hatch.
Oh, okay. Oh, so there's an escape route. Okay. Good point.
So they have a look around and they find it in the wall of the basement.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
They open it and they look around and they see this giant world.
Oh, so they're like the borrowers. They're tiny.
Yeah, let's say so.
Okay.
See how this goes. Yeah, the snow globes everywhere. It's a massive cave and it's quite intimidating. They all have a bit of a freak out and they run back upstairs. The adults come in.
Is this the entire family? So it's the family and the cousins and the aunties and the uncles and the grandma.
Yeah.
Everyone's still around.
Everyone's there, even the dog.
Okay.
Stupid dog.
Did that dog get eaten?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. So they all sit down and they have their Christmas dinner like normal. I mean, the world may have changed completely, but dinner's still got to happen. So they sit down and over dinner they all discuss what the plan is.
Right.
And
a very civilised plan over Christmas dinner. So what should we do about this fact that we're trapped in a giant snow globe by a hellish baby-eating demon? More stuffing, dear?
Meantime, I'd like to see Adam Scott going like, why is nobody else panicking? Sort of thing.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. I like it.
So they decide that the adults are going to go out. They're going to exit through the basement and go and explore, and they're going to go and find Krampus, and using the shotgun as leverage, they're going to say, look, take us back. So that's their plan.
Okay, they're going to hold up a tiny shotgun to this giant demon and say, if you don't take us back, we're going to shoot you with this teeny tiny gun, which will probably be like a little pellet.
How do you know these aren't giant snow globes?
Oh, I guess you don't really see them in perspective to the snow globe, do you? I guess I just assumed that they'll be tiny.
For the sake of my plot, let's go this way.
Okay, sure, fine. So they're roughly Krampus sized.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I'll go with it.
Now, obviously these kids being who they are, well, they don't really want to just be left alone with Granny.
No.
They want to actually go and do something else of their own accord.
Mm-hmm.
So they leave Granny to look after the baby.
Okay.
Which, finally somebody's looking after the baby.
Yeah, good.
The baby, which was probably forgotten at Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
To be fair, they forgot that baby in scene 1.
Yeah. That kid is going to grow up with some real deep-rooted abandonment issues.
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay. 6 hours, I mean, come on.
Sorry. Wasn't there another... child?
Chrissy! Darn it! Jordan, I told you to bring her inside.
Not my kid.
Come on, girls. Tommy, help me get the baby and the rest of the girl crap out of there.
Do you mind? Thank
Try.
you.
All right.
Yeah, so now we're split into 2 groups.
Okay.
So let's go with the adults for now. The adults, they start their adventure by working out where Krampus is, which means that on their way, they encounter many, many different toy monsters.
Okay.
So what kind of toy monsters can you think of?
Oh, so similar to the toy monster we see in this film. There's like there's the Jack in the Box.
Mm-hmm.
There's the strange bird doll thing.
Yeah, there was an evil doll.
There was an evil teddy bear with like
evil
sharp
teddy
teeth.
bear, the gingerbread man.
Okay.
What else do you get for Christmas?
Well, I guess they're like classical.
Lego blocks.
How would Lego be evil?
Just build walls like to be really inconvenient.
Okay, great.
Can't
God
go that
damn
way.
it. Yeah. They just keep throwing themselves under your feet so you stand on individual
God.
parts. Yeah.
Oh,
The horror. Yeah, maybe some like modern toys because they were all like classical toys. Because I think that would be quite funny, like in a Shrek kind of way. So I don't know what are kids playing with these days.
Maybe there could be like some evil video game characters.
Yeah.
Like an evil Mario.
Mm-hmm. What, like Wario?
Yeah, sure.
What are they called, those girls from Frozen? Anna and Elsa? Evil Anna and Evil Elsa from
Yeah,
Frozen?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I feel like evil Olaf could be a bit more...
Evil Olaf could be good, yeah.
bit more interesting.
Were the snowmen the biggest disappointments in this film?
Oh my God, yeah.
I thought that was going to really pay off. He keeps looking out the window and it seems like the snowman's getting closer and closer and closer. Then it just never happens. It just never turns up.
I forgot about that.
That was a real letdown for me. I was like, oh, we're going to get some evil snowman action. Great. And it was creepy and nothing happened with it. Nothing at all. Okay, so of course, we've got some evil dolls / toys.
Yeah.
Terrorising them.
While this is happening, the uncle, who... Well, let's just assume that he's good at tracking stuff and living in a world. I mean, we kind of established that a little bit in the first film.
Yeah, he seems outdoorsy,
Yeah. So he started finding this evidence that there have been other people who have been exploring outside the snow globes.
Well, like footprints and stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that, and a few items. You find several matches, you find some pieces of paper with crayon scribbles on them, and like some 80s memorabilia, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And in the meantime, the kids first decide to go and check out the other snow globes, rather than hang about just in the house.
Oh, of course, because they're in a room full of snow globes, so there could be a family trapped in every single one of them.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, cool, okay, I like
so
that
they're going to go
idea.
and find some other people. So first thing they want to do is... Well, Beth convinces them, that's their sister,
Okay.
Beth convinces them, let's go and find my boyfriend.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah.
So they start going from snow globe to snow globe, trying to find her boyfriend and telling people what's going on, because not everybody's realised, I guess, that Christmas Day is happening inside snow globes rather than in their normal village or whatever it is.
Oh, so it's going to be like a revolution of all these families who've had bad Christmases. They're all just going to be...
Yeah.
Are they going to form an army from all the snow globes?
Well, I guess.
Okay, like it.
And eventually they find her boyfriend, and he decides that, yeah, he's going to stick with Beth, but his family decide to stay behind and be safe in their snow globe.
Stay in the snow globe,
Build
sure.
some defences and stuff.
Sure, yeah. Well, maybe they don't believe him. Or they don't believe...
Much better.
Maybe they don't believe her, but he does. It's
That
like,
makes
I
more
believe
sense.
you, yeah. So.
Yeah. Even though they keep saying, look, just go to the edge of your garden.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's just a heavy frost. It's formed a dome. We'll be fine. It'll melt in a few days.
As soon as they exit from her boyfriend's house, they get ambushed by some evil gingerbread men.
Okay.
Which splits their group into 2. So Beth and her boyfriend go off in one direction, while the other 4 kids go off in a completely separate direction.
So this is Max, the main kid, the fat kid whose name I don't think ever gets spoken, and the 2 lesbian sisters. Cool. Yeah.
I find it weird you're describing them as lesbians when they're like 12.
Sorry, the 2 sisters. There's no way out of that hole. No. Oh, come on.
Yeah, sure.
Fine.
Merry Christmas, girls. Come on in. Don't you look cute in your matching jackets?
They're just a little cranky because the Steelers lost, so... Jordan, Stevie, why don't you tell your Aunt Sarah about your Presidential Fitness Award, huh?
It's a good story.
So we're now in 3 separate groups.
Okay.
We've got the children, we've got the teenagers, and we've got the adults.
Oh, cool. Almost like 3 separate movies.
Exactly. Well, kind of. And so now we're in 3 concurrent scenes all happening at the same time. We see them bump into these other groups of people.
Okay.
I thought you'd have got it by now, but these 3 other groups of people are the cast of Stranger Things.
Oh! I'm not as quick as you, obviously. You always get Oh, okay. Oh, I love it. Okay, great. So, as
title of this movie is Krampus 2: Escape from the Upside Down.
It is kind of like the Upside Down. That's good. Is that the end of it then?
No.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so the adults going to run as like Winona Ryder and David Harbour, and the teenagers, I guess, are going into the teenagers and the kids. I like it. I like it a lot. That's good.
Yeah.
How great would a Stranger Things Christmas special be?
I was thinking that.
They just all end up fighting the Krampus.
I was going to call it the Stranger Things Christmas special, but yeah.
Yeah. Because I feel like they should be done with the Upside Down, the Demogorgons now. I feel like they could get away with repeating it once. Now they should just be kids having adventures. Yeah. Like it. Okay, on board. Continue.
So now, these three groups. So in the first film, of course, of Krampus, it was very much the normal family mirrored with the very abnormal American family, or just very in-your-face American family.
Sure.
But they settled their differences. So to mirror it this time, the Stranger Things lot. So there's still kind of two sort of sides to everything, where the Krampus lot are just being ridiculous about everything, and the Stranger Things lot are being very sensible.
Okay.
And, they always know what's going on.
Have the Stranger Things kids figured out what's going on then? Or do they think they're in the Upside Down? Or
Oh yeah, they all know they're in the Upside Down.
Oh, so they are in the Upside Down?
Yes, this is the Upside Down.
Okay. So does that mean the Krampus is a Demogorgon?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Or another monster.
Another monster. Oh,
Probably
that
makes more sense.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. No, okay.
Yeah.
Is Bob around?
Bob's dead, John.
Oh.
Move on. So when this all happens and they meet everybody, they decide they're going to all go back home and just meet up with everybody and share all the information they've got, which for me was the best moment of Stranger Things. When everybody comes together, it's like, oh, we know this. Oh, we know this. Oh, we know this. Oh, great. Now we all know what to do. So they do that, and at home, obviously, Granny's there, and she pitches in and suddenly reveals more information which she knows, but inexplicably just didn't say earlier.
Okay,
typical Granny. Very in character for her.
There's not really a granny figure in Stranger Things, is there?
No,
that's the one
not.
thing it's lacking. It's lacking like an old person who knows everything. Right?
So she tells them where Krampus actually lives in this world.
Okay.
Somehow she knows. Who knows where. The Stranger Thing lot share that Krampus is absolutely terrified of fire.
Oh, okay.
To which the kids say, well, we found this flamethrower.
Is 11 with them, or is it just the kids?
I haven't really got a part for 11 in this.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe not. Maybe she's off, I don't know, robbing banks or whatever.
She's off in New York having a goth makeover and...
Yeah. So yeah, but Toni Collette instantly takes this flamethrower off the kids. It's like, you cannot have that.
Oh, Toni Collette and Winona Ryder together at last. I like this.
Oh yeah. So they all go marching as one massive angry mob, all the way to where Krampus hangs out. The kids cause distractions to try and confuse everybody with different creative things that... I imagine the Stranger Things kids got good ideas about that sort of thing.
Sure, yeah.
While all the adults start fighting all the monster toys, which are protecting Krampus's lair, his cave, let's say.
Yeah, sure.
After much battling, eventually Adam Scott, Toni Collette, Winona Ryder, and David Harbour, they all make it through into Krampus's cave.
Okay.
He's sitting there just by himself, just looking a little bit scared and lonely and whatever.
You say he's sitting? Is he like in a rocking chair? Is this like what does Krampus's downtime look like?
I think a rocking chair sounds better.
I like that he's like doing his accounts or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, doing his accounts.
Watching Netflix.
Yeah. And, well, everybody's completely worn out. And Winona Ryder somehow has the flamethrower now. She's just holding, just like, you're going to take us home right now, or I will kill every motherfucker in this place.
Not the gingerbread man. Could she be holding a flamethrower against the gingerbread kids' heads or something?
Maybe she burns them right in front of him. And they're like, take us home now.
Because they did fear fire, because that was the whole thing where they get burned,
exactly.
don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, Krampus agrees, raises his arms. He has no other option at this point.
Yeah.
Raises his arms. The ceiling opens, revealing a massive white light. Everybody starts rising up slowly, leaving behind Krampus and all the other monsters. Mm-hmm. They'll rise up and they go back home. They wake up in the morning. It's Christmas Day again. Mm-hmm. And he comes downstairs. This time everybody remembers everything.
Yeah.
Like, wait, is this real? Somebody goes out and goes to look if they're in a snow globe or not. They're not. There's no hatch in the basement. Everything's back to normal. Christmas again. Stranger Things lot, they're gone.
Okay, they're back in their own town. Yeah.
Adam Scott says, finally, we can get on with Christmas now, back to our normal lives. Which Toni Collette says, no. Next Christmas, I'm going to wish him back so I can torture and burn that mother. That's the end.
Cool, so Toni Collette's discovered her dark side. I like it. Cool. I think that's really good. I can definitely see watching that.
Yeah, I'd imagine you watching that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you gave Toni Collette more to do, brought Winona Ryder in. Yeah, just I felt like more of what I wanted this film to be, more silliness and more flamethrowers and yeah, I'm on board. There wasn't really a lot for the auntie to do, given that she was the best character, but
best character in the first one. I don't
True,
really
yeah,
much of a
maybe.
place
Yeah,
for
I
her in
guess
this one.
she's the best by default. So if you actually raise the other characters up to being decent, then she's kind of just okay. So
yeah. All right, what's your idea?
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, I only really know the idea of Krampus. I don't really know what his backstory is or what the kind of lore behind it was. So this film made me think a lot about that. What purpose does Krampus serve? Because it sounds like, based on this film, so Krampus is a demon who torments families or punishes families that have lost their Christmas spirit. Mm-hmm. So does that mean that Krampus is aligned with Santa Claus? Are they like on the same team?
I feel like they're two sides of the same coin. Yeah, they're on the same team, but he's such as what God and the devil do. If you've been good, you go to heaven. You've been bad, you go to hell.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same as that.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing I was thinking of. So it's like he's punishing kids for not being good. So in a way, he's serving good even though he's bad. So yeah, I just imagined like what's the relationship between him and Santa Claus? Like, do they have meetings? Do they swap notes? Naughty kids, nice kids, you know?
Don't know.
So I started thinking about that. And then it reminded me of one of my favourite childhood Christmas films. Have you ever seen the film The Santa Claus?
No.
With Tim Allen?
No.
Where do you know the one I mean?
Yeah, I think I've seen the trailer for it on a recorded VHS.
Oh, no, yeah. That trailer was on every Disney VHS ever made between the years of 1994 and 1998. So yes,
really?
Yeah. Same. That trailer was on every film I ever owned on VHS.
Dad, I heard a clatter.
Somebody's on the roof.
Maybe it's Santa.
Not now, Charlie.
This Christmas, Scott Calvin's getting into the spirit the only way he can.
Hey, you!
By accident.
If something should happen to me, put on my suit. The reindeer will know what to do.
He's Santa. You killed him.
Did not.
The plot of the Santa Claus is he's a normal guy. Mm-hmm. He's like a divorced dad. And it's actually quite a dark setup when you think it's a total kids movie. It's Disney, but if you think about it, it's kind of dark. So what happens is he's looking after his son for the night for Christmas Eve. His son's staying with him because I say he's divorced. So it's like shared parenting, and yeah, Santa Claus lands on the roof and he accidentally kills Santa Claus. Like I can't remember exactly what happens, but it ends with Santa Claus falling off the roof and dying. Really. Mm-hmm. So then he puts on the outfit. He finds a note saying, if anything should happen to me, put on the suit, the reindeer will know what to do. I think that's the line from the film. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So he puts on the suit and then he delivers all the presents and does Santa's job for him, basically. And then he goes back to his regular life and just thinks, that was a weird night. But then he starts like transforming into Santa Claus. Like overnight, he like grows a giant belly, like Santa Claus belly. He gets a giant white bushy beard and stuff. And then he's visited by the elves who are saying, look, whenever a Santa Claus dies, a new one must take his place and it's you. And that's kind of the plot of the film. It's him kind of fighting against the fact that he now has to be Santa Claus. He's got like 11 months to figure it out until the next Christmas. And yes, and that's the film. It's him coming to terms with the fact that, I have to be Santa Claus. It's a really funny film. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a great kids film. So I started thinking, well, what if the same was true for Krampus?
One Krampus dies, another one has to take its place.
Yeah.
All right.
So my sequel is called Krampus 2, The Satan Claus.
Okay.
It wrote itself. And yeah, maybe it starts with a Krampus origin story. So maybe we'll have I'm conscious of how much I'm saying maybe because you picked up on that last week, but perhaps it's...
as long as you don't cross this over with a Truman Show.
There's no Truman Show this week. There's no reality show element this week.
Okay, good.
Next week, however. But yeah, so perhaps we start with like a journey through history of like Krampus through the ages. Mm-hmm. You know, terrorizing children in like the Middle Ages and, you know, the Victorian era, the 20s, the 60s, leading us to present day. So the conceit of this is somebody has to be like the Tim Allen, he's going to be an ordinary guy, and he's going to become the Krampus, basically. Mm-hmm. In the Santa Claus, it's because he kills Santa. That's how he gets that mission, I guess. So part of me thought you could just have Adam Scott. I mean, he doesn't technically kill the Krampus, though. He gets killed.
Yeah, nobody kills Krampus.
Nobody kills Krampus. But I think someone has to defeat the Krampus for this story to make sense. Mm-hmm. So it could be Adam Scott repeating his role. I think he'd be good for what I'm wanting him to be because he's kind of an everyman. Okay, so it couldn't be Winona Ryder. It would be funny if it was a woman. It would be, that would add another level to it, I think. Because I didn't think Winona Ryder. I thought maybe Kristen Bell could do it.
Well, I was just thinking, like, could you be a sequel to mine?
Oh, it could be, yeah. Maybe. Okay, that could work too. I've kind of written it as if this was...
Man, Krampus has stayed behind. It was going to be Toni Collette, who was going to go and kill Krampus next year.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be it.
It could be Toni Collette, yeah. I've written it as if it's a guy, but it could be... There's nothing specific that says it couldn't be a woman, I guess. So for Adam Scott for the continuity, or Arnold Schwarzenegger or Christoph Waltz for the Austrianness.
Okay.
Like, I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's inherently funny if you make him do anything that involves acting. And Christoph Waltz is Austrian and can act well, so different strokes, but could work. And then my other idea was Matt Damon. Because he's the everyman, and I do like it when Matt Damon plays a villain. I've said this many times.
Yeah. Okay. So, what's next?
Okay, so yeah, I've spent a lot of time on that. So let's say it's either Matt Damon or Adam Scott. I think it works better if it's an everyman than if it's Schwarzenegger, etc. So he defeats the Krampus in either the prologue or in the previous film, whatever. And then I think he starts having nightmares about murderous gingerbread men who are kind of telling him that the Krampus is part of the natural order of things. They're a lot more kind of talkative in my sequel. So the Krampus is part of the great balance of life, between, good and evil, naughty and nice. Yeah. There has to be a Krampus, otherwise Christmas is doomed. And because you killed Krampus, you now must be the new Krampus, kind of thing. And again, much like the Santa Claus, he's got 11 months to kind of say his goodbyes to the world and make pieces of it, and then he's got to go and be the Krampus. And obviously he thinks he's crazy, he tries to ignore it, etc. And he's just going about his everyday life. And I think he's a teacher. I think he's probably like a high school teacher. It didn't say what Adam Scott's job was, did it?
No, it didn't.
So I'd imagine he's some kind of like teacher, like a high school teacher. Well, for this, teacher works perfectly because basically he's working as a school teacher and maybe teaches like something really boring like maths or IT or something. And the kids are all totally obnoxious and hateful. Because that's the thing, as I was saying before, I want to kind of course correct from the first one where it made the kids a little bit too soft and likeable and human, where it works better if the kids are just, you want to see them die. So he's teaching these awful, awful kids. They're making his whole life a misery. And there's one kid who's just the worst. He's a bully. He's stupid. He listens to the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's just the worst. And he's pushing our hero to the limit all the time. He's like the nightmare kid.
Did you just pick the Red Hot Chili Peppers as like the band that bullies listen to or the rebels listen to?
I feel like they're the band that basic people listen to.
Oh, I love the Chili's.
I'm saying nothing. So anyway, so this one kid is just pushing our hero to the limit, and one day he's in detention. This kid's just giving him all kinds of shit, and at one point he just loses it and he eats him. And I really want to get into this, so I want it to smash cut to him, chewing the meat off the bone, licking his lips, swallowing a foot maybe. I want to be he's really enjoying himself. Okay. He takes great pleasure eating, devouring this. But it's a teenager. It's not going to be upsetting. It's going to be like a 15-year-old, obnoxious 15-year-old. I don't want any babies in this. I want to be able to enjoy,
cannibalism.
The cannibalism and the child murder, basically.
Oh, okay.
So I'm making it comfortable for me. So that happens. And obviously, initially, he's horrified and he's racked with guilt. But also, the kid tasted pretty good. And it's like Pringles, you can't have just one.
Once you pop, you don't stop.
Exactly, yeah. So then the phone follows him as he kind of tries to cover up the murder, basically. And it turns out that somehow he gets away with it. Let's say this kid nobody really misses him. Let's say his parents are just complete deadbeats. And obviously, because he was a horrible bully and a terrible kid, the school doesn't miss him at all. Particularly, nobody misses him. And there's no evidence because he ate him. He ate the evidence. There's nothing left, So that happens. And then he's continuing his teaching and stuff, but he finds himself kind of transforming. And similar to the Santa Claus kind of transformation where he gets this big belly and his beard and he's becoming Santa Claus. This character he's sprouting hair everywhere, all over his body. His tongue keeps getting longer and longer and longer. He's developing cloven hoofs.
Okay.
Hard to walk in. And most disturbingly of all, he's developing an insatiable appetite for children.
Okay.
So all the kids are looking pretty tasty to him. So he kind of rationalizes it and he decides that he's only going to eat really bad children.
Okay.
Yeah, just the ones who misbehave. So the bullies, the mean girls, the snobs, the vandals, all the kids who just aren't contributing anything good. Which is the whole point of Krampus. He's naughty. It's the naughty kids he targets. So then I think the main bulk of the movie is just going to be him continuing to eat more and more of these misbehaving children. And I think that could be pretty funny. I mean,
did anybody find out at any point?
Well, that's it. I think there needs to be somebody who suspects, whether it's another teacher. I can't decide if it's another teacher. Is it a pupil? Is it his wife? If it's going to be the same Adam Scott, is it Toni Collette? Maybe is she suspicious of why her husband is
so fat?
Well, yeah, he's fattening up on all the children. Yeah,
so fat and so ugly.
Yeah. Well, I did think it would be funny if he was still married, though, because maybe, yeah, she's a bit suspicious that, he's behaving strangely and his body's changing in some quite unusual ways. But also, maybe the sex is now great. Maybe it's like he's an animal. Like she's actually really into this. Like, I think that'd be pretty funny. But yeah, I kind of feel like someone has to be suspecting him, and maybe like as more and more children start disappearing, the net kind of closes in a little bit on him.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it'd be funny too if he's married and he's got his kids. If the gingerbread men have moved into his house. So they're just causing complete havoc, and he's trying to keep them under wraps.
Also, nobody else knows that they're...
Nobody knows except
just him.
Yeah, I think that's inherently pretty funny. Like.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
And all the other toys as well. So like the bird with the terrifying claws and the beak, and the evil teddy bear, and the Jack in the Box. They're all still in the house, and he's trying to keep them secret and hide them because he's now their master.
Yeah.
So they'll do his bidding, but he can't like keep a lid on them. So yeah, that happens. But the net keeps closing in and closing in and closing in, and eventually he's exposed. Someone finds out. Maybe we're doing a rider. Maybe we continue the Stranger Things crossover, and it isn't happening in the same town. And maybe Winona Ryder is like the suspicious mother. Maybe she's the mother of one of the kids who gets eaten.
Okay.
And she's one of the few parents who actually gives a shit. And she's like, my kid wasn't that bad. Yeah, and maybe she like won't let it go, and she eventually tracks him down and figures it out, and stalks him around, and exposes him as the Krampus, or as this child-eating demon that he's increasingly turning into.
Yeah.
Also, I think it'd be really funny to watch Adam Scott trying to hide the physical transformation. So he maybe puts like a really bad toupee on to kind of try and hide the horns. Like he's going for like a dreadlock kind of thing or something. And he's like, what are you doing? And they all think it's a midlife crisis, but actually he's just trying to hide the fact that... And he'll only have sex with the lights off, because otherwise he's got hoofs, Like, I think there's loads of physical comedy.
Yeah, that'd be good. Whenever he talks, his tongue falls out.
Yes.
So he always talks like with his hand in front of his mouth. Like,
yeah, there's so much you could do with this.
Yeah.
But eventually he's exposed. Winona Ryder summons like a angry mob with pitchforks and flaming torches and all that kind of stuff. So he has to kind of say a tearful goodbye to his family, and then he just escapes to hell. If Santa's in the North Pole, is he in the South Pole? Or it didn't seem like he was. It didn't seem like he was in a winter wonderland.
No.
Yeah,
let's go with hell.
Let's go, yeah. So he escapes into the hell dimension, yeah. And then I guess we just finish with a montage of him, maybe with a nice classic Christmas song like Santa Claus is coming to town, or It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. A fully
Santa Claus come to
That's
town
a good one, yeah.
Makes more sense.
Definitely, yeah. Maybe he's got some hellish reindeer, or what's the hellish version of a reindeer?
Wolves?
Wolves, maybe, yeah.
Dire wolves? Big wolves? Red eyes, glowing eyes.
Or just evil reindeer could work. Yeah.
One of them with glowing eyes.
Yeah, or a glowing nose. Like.
Well, I think glowing eyes looks more scary.
True, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to make a glowing nose scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, a nice montage of him travelling around the world on Christmas Eve, just devouring naughty children. And that's it. And that's the end of the Krampus 2 Satan Claus.
So, Satan Claus?
Yeah. The Satan Claus. So.
I like it. Good work.
Thank you, yeah.
Listener submissions?
Oh, yes, we do. So, yeah, we had a few this week. So, our friends at Blockbusters have done a bit of a 360 this week, because normally they've done a bit of a 180 even. A 360 just means not doing anything.
Normally they don't do a title?
Normally from Blockbusters we all get an idea but no title. This week they've given us a title but no idea.
Oh, God.
So I don't think they've actually seen the film, so fair enough.
Okay.
So their idea is Krampus 2, Cramp in Your Style. So who knows, but yeah, I like it. On title alone, I can see the poster. Great. Cool.
What if it was your idea, but also Adam Scott is like hanging about with the uncle who's trying to be cool around his friends, but his gun friends all drive Hummers, and Adam Scott's turning up, just sort of turning into this hideous monster and trying to act normal.
That could be good. That could be a good subplot, actually, because my idea was a bit thin this week. Maybe there's a whole subplot of him hanging out trying to like connect with his brother-in-law, and maybe the fact that he's turning into this monster is making him a little bit more butch and a little bit more kind of manly man, and actually they're appreciating him more, and it's like it makes him more cool for a while.
Yeah.
If only they knew he was also a cannibal, but yeah. Okay. Like it. Good. Cool. Maybe it ends with like a breakdancing thing, because he's cramping his style. Maybe.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Krampus is a really good street dancer. Yeah.
Adam Scott breakdancing.
See, you'd pay to watch that. I'd pay £9 to see that movie.
Yeah, there we go.
Great. Okay. Jason Evans has got the idea of a Christmas-loving, sheltered child grows up, heads off to higher education, where he quickly dives into hedonism. He decides to ditch going home for his family Christmas in order to attend a big kegger party in America, an American sorority kegger party. Krampus on campus. It writes itself. So.
Oh, great.
Love it. So I guess it's like a Porky's kind of idea.
Yeah, that'd be really good. I'd watch that.
Krista Pace Martin, her idea was, it's Christmas time at the mall. Krampus shows up to do Krampusy things. Eat children. Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. So our hero is a simple mall cop working in this mall where Krampus is invaded. He shows up on his magic Segway. And this Christmas, don't miss Paul Blart 3, Krampus 2. Have you seen the Paul Blart Mall Cop?
Yeah.
So you know what they're talking about, yeah. So yeah, Paul Blart 3, Krampus 2. I can see that. I don't think I want to, but I can see it. Isa Ahmad, her idea is the Krampus is played by Paul Rudd.
Oh yeah.
Good choice, yeah. Who's a little confused by all the recent attention he's gotten after wallowing in relative obscurity for centuries. He's trying to take it in his stride, but he's navigating this newfound fame, which is leading to a lot of embarrassment, particularly because his brusque personality and penchant for abducting children rubs people up the wrong way. Luckily, his best friend, played by Jason Segel, everyone's best movie friend. You're making such a face. Do you not like Jason Segel?
No, he's just boring.
I liked him in the Muppet movie.
Oh, fuck the Muppets.
This podcast is over. You take that back right now. Take it back.
I'm not taking it back.
Take it back.
No?
I'm not continuing this podcast until you apologise for what you just said about the Muppets.
I continued this podcast when you microwaved a cat.
Yeah, exactly, but I never spoke ill of the Muppets. There's lines here, Harry.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Right. My letter to Santa's going to be for a new podcast co-host.
Sure, fine, I don't mind. Listeners, apply. beyondtheboxset@gmail.com. Send your applications. CV and cover letter, please.
I could never replace you. Luckily, his best friend, played by Jason Segel, is there to help him through and maybe convince the world that he's not such a bad guy after all. So coming this Christmas season, I love you, man, too. I love you, Cram. That was a real long walk to a very good punchline.
Oh, dear.
Thank you for that. Kate Dunsmore's idea is A Krampus for Christmas. It's a Hallmark movie. Remember when you did a Hallmark movie of a Gone Girl? That was fun. Or a Lifetime movie. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. A Hallmark movie rated PG-13 for suggestive themes. One woman is resigned to spend her Christmas alone when an unexpected stranger arrives on her doorstep on Christmas Eve. It's Krampus. And he's going to teach us to love again. Love it. And finally, I think my favourite this week, Heavy Metal Horrorcast. And theirs is called Krampus, ? Camp as! ! And it's a pantomime retelling of Krampus. Oh, no, it isn't. Oh, yes, it is. Starring Christopher Biggins as the Krampus. Love it.
Oh, God.
So, thanks for those guys. Very, very good. Enjoyed them all. So, yeah, if you have any ideas for sequels to Krampus that you'd like to see, let us know. Or if you have any ideas for sequels to films we've done in the past, or films you'd like to see us do in the future, especially Christmas films, as 'tis our Christmas season, let us know. We are Beyond the Box Set. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, Tumblr, did I say Twitter? All the social media channels, just search Beyond the Box Set.
I don't think anybody's on Google Plus who isn't on Twitter.
True. I don't think anyone's on Google+, full stop, but it's good for SEO, I'm told, so far.
Okay. I mean, I think that's a lie told by Google.
Probably is, yeah, but whatever. So find us on social media, get in touch by all means, and let us know any films you'd like to see us do. We'd love to hear your suggestions or any sequel ideas you have, and we'll give you a shout out. Also, if you do enjoy the show, please hit subscribe to get a new episode every Friday morning. If you really like us, please leave a review. It really helps us out to find new listeners. You can hear us on iTunes, Stitcher, Acast, Podbean, Pocket FM, Google Play, all good podcasting platforms. And yeah, enjoyed the show. Thank you for listening. And we will be back next week with Harry's Christmas choice.
Oh, God, yeah, I forgot about this. Oh,
have you actually chosen a film?
Yeah, oh, God, I've been waiting for this one for months.
I'm excited. What have you chosen?
Pretty much since we started this show. I've been wanting to, but it's such a Christmas film that I thought I've got to wait till Christmas to do it. But I also think that I'm gonna regret choosing it. And
am I gonna ruin it for you?
Yeah, you're gonna ruin it for me. And I've heard so many bad things said about this film. I mean, I know it well.
Oh, God. It's not an Adam Sandler Christmas film.
No, but in hindsight, it's really not the best towards women. Can you guess it yet?
So it's a Christmas film with no sequels that you enjoyed as a child that treats women poorly. I don't know. It's not Elf, is it?
No. I'll give you some clues. Emma Thompson.
Oh, Love Actually.
Oh, I thought go with the person who'd be least attached to that film.
She's the one person I think of who I enjoyed. No,
but if I said Rowan Atkinson,
true, yeah,
Colin Firth, Hugh Grant, Alan Rickman,
true, maybe not. Yeah, true. Oh, that's going to... I fucking hate that film.
So Love Actually.
I'm excited.
Next week, let's bring it.
I can't believe you're making me watch that film again. I genuinely despise this film, so I'm looking forward to ripping it and using it.
Great.
Cool.
Great.
So join us next week for Love Actually.
Yeah. All right. See you on next week for episode 3 of our Christmas.
That's a strong finisher there, Harry. Strong finisher.
Yeah.